Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last week of classes. We are finally here. You stuck it out and you haven't given up, and you just finished writing a huge comparative essay. I've been watching those come in all day, and I'm going to be marking those as soon as I can. I'm also going to be emailing you your current grades. Hopefully today I'll get around to it. It's important for you to know the mark that you've got going in now. The comparative essays are worth twice as much as the other summatives, so that mark is going to possibly affect your overall mark quite a bit. And I do plan to get those comparative essays marked this week so that you'll know what you're going into the exam with pretty much. The exam is next Monday. Please make sure that you've got time booked off from work and you haven't decided to go up to Northern Ontario for the week or something. Don't know why you do that in the summer, but anyways, make sure that you have everything set up because the exam's going to be from 9 until 12 on Monday the 8th, and that's non-negotiable, right? So make sure that you are ready to go for that. Okay, so exam is set. Your term marks, you'll hopefully know what they are. Now, this unit has got a summative as well. It's actually got several components that I'm going to be marking. The unit itself is on the art of rhetoric and persuasiveness, and the overall summative is going to be a combination of writing and speaking. So don't worry about video editing though. For those of you who've had your fill of fighting with YouTube and video and cameras and stuff, don't worry because this activity is not going to be a video conversation, it's going to be an audio conversation. You are going to have a 10-minute phone call with me, during which time you're going to be persuading me to take one side or the other of an issue. You're going to be debating against me. Now, I'm not going to be trying to destroy you in this debate, not that I would, because you're going to be more prepared for it than I'm going to be, but I'm going to be testing your knowledge, all right? So you're going to be prepared to take a side, and the side that you're going to take is going to be the more difficult to defend side of the issue. You're going to be taking the controversial side of an issue. So let me give you an example. I debated with my grade 10 academic class this past year because we have a rhetorical unit in that course as well at our school. I debated with them that we should bring back corporal punishment and beat our children so that will improve their motivation in school and thereby improving their lives. Now that is an extreme case of taking the controversial side of an issue. That would have been perfectly normal back in the 1950s, not so normal now, all right? So, but this is the idea, is you're going to be taking not the easy side of the issue, but the difficult side. Now, there's going to be some room for you to decide what your issue is going to be. There's a process during this first lesson. There's going to be a process for choosing issues. Everybody is going to be choosing a different issue to discuss for their topic. And whatever issue you choose, you're going to be using it throughout this week for different activities. And the different activities, every lesson there's going to be something. The C lesson for every day is going to be related to the summative. So lesson 1C, 2C, and 3C all have a component involved that's going to relate directly to your summative mark for the unit. To let you know what they are, on the first day you're going to be writing a satire. On the second day you're going to be writing an editorial, and on the third day you're going to be preparing arguments that you're going to use in the phone debate against me. Now, as far as when those debates are going to happen, I'm going to be flexible for that. Any time I think on Friday should be fine for it. Hopefully we'll get it done by Friday so that you'll be able to study for the exam, prepare for the exam. It's going to start on Monday, or going to happen on Monday. But I am flexible for that. I could possibly make a Saturday phone call as well. I'm going to get in touch with you by email and we'll set that up. All right, so make sure that you're checking your email, and but I mean, we have the whole week to figure that out. All right, so the art of persuasion and rhetoric. In today's lesson, what we're going to be looking at is you're going to be researching the both sides of the issue that you choose. So I'm going to use the example of gun control because it's the first one. I got a website that you're going to use to choose your topic. There's all kinds of them. And what I want to do, though, is I want to get informed on my topic before I do anything else. That means becoming generally informed and then specifically informed. Generally informed means I know something about the topic. I'm not completely ignorant. The word ignorant, by the way, just basically means that you're willfully uninformed about life. As an intellectual person, member of society, I think you have a certain amount of duty to know what is going on in our country because you are going to be voting and you're going to hopefully make informed decisions about who you vote for and vote for whoever is going to do the best job of running our country. You may be on a jury someday and you are going to cast a vote whether somebody is guilty or not guilty. You should be informed about what is going on in the world. I think it's generally just good citizenship. So becoming generally informed means you know something about what is going on. Specifically informed means you dig deeper and you do some research so that you have a firmer understanding of both sides of the issue, and this is really important. You cannot understand an issue if you only look at it from one side because you will be ignorant of the other side, willfully uninformed. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you a research model that I think that it works very well for this activity and for research in general. Here's what I noticed about a lot of students in research. They do it wrong, which is weird because, you know, you're supposed to be the generation who is great at research because you've always had access to the internet. You're not like me, where I remember being in like grade 12 and skipping school to go to Pembroke to go to the library because I had to write an essay, which is very sad. But I mean, don't judge. It was the times and it was the place. But research is not about gathering a whole bunch of stuff. I've seen, over the years, way too many times where a student has come in for a conference with me and they got a pile of stuff that they've printed off, and some of it is highlighted because that way it apparently looks like they've actually read it, which they haven't. Having stuff means nothing. Learning means everything. Research is about finding something to read and then reading it. And the idea is, if you read something purposefully, you'll learn from it. And the more things that you read, the more that you learn, right? It's your basic Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go, right? So you're going to become specifically informed on both sides of your issue. And as you get a better understanding of your issue, then everything else is going to come better. So eventually you're going to be debating me on it. And the more you know about both sides, the better, because you are going to be able to anticipate what I'm going to say. When I start questioning you and when I start trying to poke holes in your arguments, you're going to already know that, hopefully, if you're specifically informed. Okay? So you're going to be doing some research and you're going to be creating an annotated bibliography, which just means you've done a little bit of a summary of whatever sources you've looked at. You're going to look at two sources on both sides of the issue. So 2 for the mainstream side, 2 for the controversial side. Those terms, I'm using them just to describe which side you're on of an issue when the issue isn't really equal. Like there are certain issues where there's a very equal divide. So for example, I don't know what the stats are on this, but a pretty equal, usually the abortion, which is a very overused topic. I'm hoping people aren't going to choose that one because it's so overused in schools. But the abortion, the pro-life, pro-choice debate tends to be pretty equal. So there's maybe not a controversial side there. I'm not sure what the current stats are though. But the gun control one, definitely there's a mainstream side and a controversial side. When I looked it up on this website, by far most people think that we need more gun control in Canada. So the idea being that if there's more restrictions on who can own firearms and what types of firearms you can own and how many you can own, the better. The controversial side, that's the mainstream. Most people are on that side. The controversial side is that we should have less. So the idea being that we should be more like the Americans and have more access to firearms that are currently restricted. Okay? You're going to be choosing a topic where you are on the controversial side of it. Okay, I want you to be on the controversial side because that makes the level of difficulty more challenging for everything, which means that when you're able to successfully defend your side, it's that much more impressive. Okay, it's very simple to defend that, we should definitely not beat our children in schools. That's the easy part. But I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun to hold off a class of like 30 grade 10s for half an hour, and not one of them being able to counter my arguments was actually pretty funny. Okay? So, today you're going to be choosing an issue. The issue you choose is really important because you're going to be using it throughout the unit. You are going to be doing some research on that issue to become generally informed and then specifically informed. To become generally informed, you go to something like Wikipedia. It's fine. I think it's a great choice, actually, as a first stop to get some basic background on any topic. Okay, when I was first starting out teaching, Wikipedia was a joke, but now there's been enough vetting of the information that it's most of the time pretty accurate. Just be careful. Stephen Colbert, who you're going to run in when you get to satire, showed the flaws of Wikipedia, which is actually kind of funny. But any encyclopedia will do. Then once you become generally informed, you become specifically informed, and based on that understanding, you're going to proceed with the rest of the lesson and with the rest of the unit. All right? So that's what is on the schedule for today. And remember, don't get bogged down and don't get behind with this unit because it goes fast. We're already on Tuesday, and the summative is going to come up due on Friday, and then we've got the weekend, and then we have the exam. Work hard.